Robbie Jenkins, and I'm here to discuss end of the year budget, or the budget for our athletic program. We were given $60,000 to budget for 15 programs, and so the way I came up with the distribution for each program is I took the $60,000 and then divided that by the approximate amount of, or estimated amount of participants in all of our programs. I came up with approximately 335 participants. That came out to about $179.10 per athlete, so I rounded that up to 180. Then I took the 180 and went to each roster spot, roster for each program, and multiplied that. For example, 180 for basketball, there are 20 roster spots, and came up with the $3,600. I felt like distributing the money evenly is going to take care of a lot of issues when you start getting some programs or some parents in programs or coaches asking, well, why does football get $7,200 and wrestling only gets $18? Well, there's 40 participants in football and 10 in wrestling. So I felt like distributing the money that way made things a little more fair for each program. When looking at the programs as a whole, I came up with a total budget of $29,300 for the boys, $30,380 for the girls, and then that came to a total cost of $59,680, which is under the $60,000 that were granted. And then after making the cuts for each program, we were going to have a total cost of $48,892.90. Again, that's under the $60,000, and we're going to be left over in the athletic budget $11,107.10. So after the cuts, as an athletic director, you might want to let your coaches know, hey, we've got a surplus of money in our athletic program budget. Let's look at buying some of the things that I might have cut the first time. I think that would be what a lot of coaches would want to see. Another thing that I would want to do is put our uniforms on a rotation, maybe a 4-year rotation, so that uniforms aren't coming out of this yearly budget so often. Okay, looking at volleyball, granted a $3,600 budget. They were well under budget at $2,395, so nothing that they had on their list was cut. For basketball, if they wanted uniforms and that was the number one thing on their wish list, that came in at $3,599.20, so they're right at their $3,600 budget. Some of these things I understand would be like basketballs and basketball rack. You have to have basketballs to play basketball, but if your top of your list is uniforms and that's what you want as a coach, then I cut everything else. Wrestling, because they only had 10 participants, they were at $1,800. Again, the total cost is $1,228.92. They were under their budget and would have a little more if they had something that they would like to get for their program. Football is one that came in way under their budget at $7,200. They spent $1,718.54. Now, some of that money out of that $7,200 is going to be going towards maintenance for helmets and shoulder pads and things like that. And there may be some things that come across during the year that may need to be replaced. So they're under budget, but they have an opportunity to spend that if they need to. Boys track, the two items that I cut were sweatsuits and backpacks. I'm a firm believer that you as an athlete have to be responsible for purchasing some things, and sweatsuits and backpacks are probably two of them that I think, along with shoes and things like that. They were granted the rest of the items that were on their list, and they spent $4,917.22 of their $5,000 that was allotted. Boys soccer, a budget of $5,000. Again, I cut out Adidas training suits. They were priced at $2,553. Again, those are things that if the athletes want them, they can pay for them themselves, or because they're going to want to keep them anyway, or have Booster Club pay for those. The other thing that I cut was the Fusion High School Match Soccer Goals with Wheels, $6,350. So out of their $5,000, they were at $3,444.83. So they still have some money that they can spend if they'd like to get a couple things or get some things that would help their program. For baseball had two big items. All these other items, the bases, league-based plugs, home plate, those type of things are all things that are needed. I left the bats on there. In our school district, not everybody has their own bat, and there are some parents that tell kids don't let somebody else use them. These are expensive, so I buy a couple bats for our program each year. They were under budget a little bit at $3,600 what was budgeted, and that came in at $3,126.79, cutting out the pro batting cage as well as the hack attack pitching machine. Again, maybe those are items that the Booster Club would like to pitch in and get later on down the road. Cheerleading was one that was a little over their budget, but again, we're going to be under our total budget for all the athletic department, so $9 isn't going to make a big difference. But I gave them one set of uniforms at $1,870.40, pom-poms at $332, and then tumbling mat $585. Away uniforms, I think cheerleading, you're going to have one set of uniforms for home and away. Undergear, something that they can buy on their own, and shoes. We have all the other athletes buy their shoes or participants, so I think that's something that they can buy themselves. School signs, that's something I feel like that they can make during school time, make school signs for the games. Practice uniforms, I feel like just like anybody else, they can practice in shorts and a t-shirt, just like other people might have to. A t-shirt gun, we're at the high school level. I don't think we really need to spend $2,000 on a t-shirt gun. Mobile sound system, we have a sound system in our gymnasium, have a sound system on our outside facilities, so I don't think we need a mobile sound system. If we do, we can get a CD player or something to that nature. Megaphones, I don't think that's something that should be high on our priority list. Bows is something that cheerleaders can buy on their own. The sweatsuits, warm-ups, 16 sets. I think, again, they can buy those. Rainwear, those are probably going to get tore up at outside events anyway, so we can buy ponchos or something like that if we need to do that. And then travel bags, again, is an item that I feel like the cheerleaders ought to be buying themselves instead of taking it out of the athletic budget. So they were a little over their budget, and they really didn't get a whole lot that they wanted, but again, that's just how it goes sometimes. Lacrosse, budgeted in at $3,600. I cut out the replacement nets. Again, if our nets are wore out, we would have to look at that again, and we're going to have some money left over, so that would be something that we could look at after everything else is purchased for all our other programs. The cleats, again, athletes need to buy their own cleats, and then the mouth guards, 79 cents. I think athletes can buy their own there, and when they were still $4.77 over their $3,600 that was allotted for lacrosse. Softball came in under their budget at $3,217.79. They were budgeted at $3,600, so they got everything that was on their list. Field hockey was under the budget of $3,600. They came in at $2,939.20 and got everything that they were asking for their program. Girls basketball. They came in at $3,580.99 of their $3,600. So I felt like cutting out the Kramer game water bottles. They were getting Gatorade water bottles for practice. You can use practice water bottles at games. Jump ropes, I think that's something that if you really want them, you can work with your athletic department and your physical education department and see if they can't help out with some jump ropes if that's something that's needed. But jump ropes, that's something that I didn't feel like was something we wanted to purchase through the athletic department. And travel sweats, again, that's something I feel like the athletes need to buy. And then the Huddle video software, I know it's nice to have that to scout on, but if we're buying a Sony HD camera to film our games, you can scout games that way, or go out and scout on your own. Girls track, they came in under their $5,000 that was allotted for their program. They came in at $4,011.45, so they got everything that they asked for. Volleyball, they got a $4,000 budget. They came in at $3,829. I cut out the warm-up shirts, again, something that I feel like if they really want, they can purchase themselves or do a fundraising activity to get those, as well as the travel sweatpants. Girls soccer is one that I felt like, if they needed the uniforms, those came in exactly $4,000, just like they were allotted for their budget. So for this year, they were going to get their uniforms. That's what they had on the top of their wish list. Down here, the sideline knit jacket, again, something that if they want as athletes, they could purchase those. The Libero Tech knit pant, if they want some type of pant, they could buy those. Goalie jersey, I know that's probably something that's needed, but if you're going to buy these uniforms up here, probably going to have some kind of help somewhere else buying the goalie jerseys, such as Booster Club or the athlete buy it themselves and then they can just keep it. Long pants for the goalies. Again, if they want to wear long pants, I think that's something they purchase or we get them from another source. Socks, that's for sure something that I think the athletes can buy. They're going to be wearing them. Nobody wants to wear their socks afterwards, so they need to purchase those and they can keep them. Because of buying the uniforms, that cut out the equipment that was asked for by the soccer program. Again, maybe we can look at boys soccer and see if they can go in together and purchase some of this, and then they could go ahead and get some of their equipment. And looking at all the programs, again, going back to the original page, we're under budget by $11,107.10. Again, after purchasing everything, that to me that's a positive, and then we can go back and if equipment needs to be bought for soccer, we can look at doing things like that later on down the road. Thank you.